continual weekly support. You know, this is a channel in where we support each other, and we, to let us know that we are not alone in this transition called menopause. And for a lot of women who are now going through it as well, here is the place to let them know that they're safe space, and they could come, learn, listen, exchange thoughts, exchange experiences, so that they themselves would know that this is not a lonely process, and there are ways to deal with it in a positive way. So tonight's topic is, and the healthy reset is, the impact of stress on menopause symptoms. And we want to deal with that topic because we sometimes we put aside, many times we put aside what we are going through and what we are dealing with and think, well, it will just pass. And, sometimes we need to know it's through education, through making changes and understanding what our bodies are going through, that it would make a difference when we educate ourselves. So it is great to have this learning experience here that we are going through. So have you ever gone in bed completely exhausted, only to wake up 2 or 3 a.m. feeling like your body just switched on without your permission? And here's the real question. What if this is not random at all? My name is Nurse Maria Nurse Joseph, and I am here to help women particularly going through menopause, which may be 40 and above, and in some cases could be a bit younger than 40, to understand what's really going on in their bodies during perimenopause, so they can stop feeling overwhelmed, regain control of their sleep, which is so vital, and feel like themselves again without guessing or suffering. That's suffering in silence. Now, in this video, I am going to break down 3 things most people never explain. First, why your stress response gets louder at night during perimenopause. Second, why do you feel fine during the day but completely overwhelmed the moment you lie down? And thirdly, what is actually keeping you stuck in this 3 a.m. wake up cycle, so that you can start breaking that cycle? So stay with me. Stay with me till the end, because once you understand this, you'll stop blaming yourself and start seeing what needs to change. And if this sounds like what you've been going through and what I've been going through, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the next video, where I go even deeper into finally resetting your sleep cycle naturally. Now, because if you think this is just bad sleep, you are about to understand something much, much deeper that explains everything you've been feeling at night. So let me show you what I mean. And this is where most women start blaming themselves, when in reality, there is a very predictable pattern here. Let me introduce you to someone that we call Michelle, and not the Michelle that we have here online, but there's another Michelle. Now, Michelle is a lady in her late 40s. She is responsible, dependable, and she is used to holding things together. At work, she is fine. At home, she is great. At least on the outside, nothing looks wrong. But here's what makes this even more confusing. Nothing on the outside explains why this is actually happening. And that's where the fear starts to build. Michelle starts waking up at night, then it becomes consistent around 2 to 3 a.m., consistently over and over and over again. Now she tells herself it is stress. Then she tells herself it is age. Then she starts wondering if something is wrong, actually wrong with her. Now, Michelle is dealing with 3 main struggles. First, she is waking up every night around the same time, which is about 2 and sometimes 3 a.m. Second, her emotions feel unstable, so small things feel overwhelming. Anxiety rises without even a warning. And third, she is exhausted during the day, but wired up at night. Strange. And this is where she starts to feel like she's losing control of her own body. Because in a moment, I'm going to break down the exact stress loop happening inside your body at night. And once you see it, you'll never look at your sleep the same way again. But first, you need to understand what is actually triggering it. So there is actually a trigger. Now, this is the part almost nobody explains properly. And it is the reason most women stay stuck for years not realizing it. Your body actually runs on a stress system, actually, controlled by a hormone called cortisol. And we've heard about this cortisol over and over. Now, cortisol should be high during the day and low during the night. But during perimenopause, that rhythm starts to break. Now, the stress does not shut off at night during perimenopause. Instead, your system switches. Your system stays more alert than it should. So when you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., your brain thinks that something is actually wrong, and it releases more of this stress hormone. Your heart rate increases, your thoughts speed up. Now you are awake and trying to get yourself back to sleep. You're on your phone, you pick up a book, you get up to walk, you pick up your cell phone, and you're going like that until you realize the sun is up. And the next day, because you are tired, stress again increases again. So the cycle continues. And this is the moment where everything changes emotionally. Not physically first, but emotionally first. Michelle starts dreading bedtime. So now she used to love to go to bed and take a good night's sleep and rest, and that was her stress reliever. Now she is dreading going to bed because she lies awake overthinking everything. Then one night she wakes up. She wakes up again at 3 a.m. And then something breaks emotionally. She starts crying. She's fed up. Not because of one thing, but because everything feels overwhelming. Everything feels like it is too much to handle. And she thinks, I don't feel like myself anymore. And as a matter of fact, I feel like I don't have control of myself anymore. Now, here's where something surprising starts to happen. It's not a big overnight change, but it is the first sign that her body is responding differently. She starts learning 3 key shifts. First, she begins identifying where her symptoms are stress-driven or hormone-driven. Second, she learns a simple night reset approach to calm her system before sleep. Third, she begins retraining her nervous system so that it is not stuck in constant alert mode. But at first, nothing dramatic changes. But then small improvements begin. And then she starts to wake up less panicked. She falls back to sleep. And she falls asleep this time. She falls asleep faster. She stops being afraid of bedtime. And slowly, her nights become more and more and more stable. Now, the biggest shift is not just sleeping, it is safety. Her body stops feeling like it is working against her, and she stops fighting her body. So let me leave you with this. What you are experiencing is not a failure, actually, of your body. It is a stress system that has learned the wrong rhythm. But the good news is, anything that is learned can be relearned. You are not broken and you are not stuck. And you are not losing control. Now, at this point, you have two choices. One, you can keep pushing through the same cycle and hope it changes on its own, or you can start actually understanding what is actually happening here to your system and begin breaking the pattern step by step. Most women do not need more effort. They need clarity. And if this is what you are going through, make sure to subscribe, because in the next video, I am going to show you exactly how to calm this stress response at night so you can start feeling or getting your sleep back naturally. So there is a continuation to this. This is just the prelude to you coming back and getting the actual version or the actual remedy to this issue. Now, why I'm dealing with it like this is for one, for us to talk about, some of the issues that we as women have during the night. Well, I can tell you firstly that I have been having that issue and I've had it for a while, and it can be very overwhelming because many times, you go to work, people see you and they do not know the struggles that you are going through with this perimenopause. I go to work, I do my work, and many times I am tired because during the night, many times I was not sleeping. It was hard to fall asleep and stay asleep. I tried a lot of different methods, a lot of different things I tried, but I'm giving you something that I know in the next lesson that you can use to rest. And when this stress has become too overwhelming, it actually takes a real toll on you. So I don't know if any of you ladies have ever experienced what I've experienced, right? In terms of not being able to sleep through the night. Sometimes you get up just to use the bathroom and you realize, well, that's the end of everything because you cannot go back to sleep. It is very difficult. You start to think about, overthink everything. This one somebody said something that sounded a little off today, or, you thought about something that, you could have done differently when you were doing your work, or you probably could have talked to somebody in a nicer way. It's all kind of craziness starts to pass through your head. I don't know if anybody would like to share anything like that you have experienced or are experiencing. Tennille said, to everyone, this is so accurate. Tennille, would you like to share something about that issue in terms of not being able to sleep and how it has been affecting you? Okay. All right. So basically what I'm saying, I don't want anyone to be shy. Here is a place where you live on melatonin. and can't sleep through the night. It would be nice to hear your voice today. You don't need to put on the camera, but sometimes sharing it verbally, like I am doing, it can help so many other ladies to relate to what we all are actually going through. Anybody beside Tennille is brave enough to talk about
Good,
that
good night,
aspect?
everybody.
Good night,
Good
night,
night.
night. Good night, Nicole. Welcome.
Good night. Thank you very much. Well, I have enough problem right now. In the night, I cannot sleep through the whole night at all. And
Wow.
my cortisol level is very high. My stress level.
So right now your stress is up.
Yep, very high.
So how
I
do you
could,
uh-huh.
right now, I try to calm, what is not working at all. I change my diet as well. So, who got myself?
What you doing?
I change my diet. So, who
Okay.
can that will help?
Okay. All right. And how you change your diet? You cut down on sugars, you cut down on what you do?
Yeah, the sugar, I stop using the sugar. I try not to eat after 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not using oil and things. I stop that. I don't use butter oil. Plenty things I try to stop.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Um, and you find you're getting any changes, anything positive with the changes you make so far, Nicole?
Well, my body's feeling a little more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
When I realize I dropped 2 pounds,
And how long you start this now?
18 months,
Huh?
about, about almost 3 weeks a month.
Okay.
So, slowly but surely.
Very good. Very good. A good change.
Yeah.
And in terms of your supplements, so what supplements you use to help with that the sleep or the lack of sleep?
When I try to sleep aid,
Okay.
cause and I just use it when I really can't take it. I take the gravel because the gravel no have no side effects really. But
All right.
supplement, cause
Yeah.
say when I trying to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
back my body, I don't know what to use.
And many times I always tell you about how you use magnesium, the magnesium glycinate. You ever try that?
Yeah.
You ever try it?
Well, the pharmacist recommend me to the one with what
Honey?
they call it, the
Mm-hmm.
plasma right, the the one with doing everything.
Okay.
He can he can make it try that. So I only started yesterday,
Okay.
so I'm hoping it helps.
All right. So the best time to take it is in the nighttime, right? At least an hour or
Yes,
two
yes,
before you go to bed, right?
yes.
You take it at night, right? So if
Okay
you go
then.
to
Yes.
use a person go to bed 12 o'clock, you take it 10 o'clock, right?
12 o'clock, that's too late. 12
If you go
o'clock
to
too late.
what time does usually go to bed?
Sometimes all 8 o'clock.
Well, if you go to bed around that time or after 6, it's a good time
Yeah,
to take it.
yeah.
Right, and you had to take it consistently, not once or twice and say, oh God, we don't have patience when it comes to letting things work, eh?
Yeah, yes, I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I use it one time, two times, and I find nothing happen, and I'm done with that. That's not working. You had to remember, it had to build up in your system, right?
Okay, yeah, thanks.
So, give your body a little
Yeah.
while, and I'm glad you're making these changes. I just want to hear you too to add on some exercise to the mix as well. And
Yes, well, that is the next thing.
all right, good.
Yes, okay then. Yeah, bye-bye.
Goodbye. I was um I was getting some feedback just now from Miss Francois, and it would be nice to show her. She was giving me some good pointers what she does to help her sleep. She was talking about Tai Chi, and I mean I heard about Tai Chi already,
Hi,
And
Miss Maria.
good night, Christine. I feel
So,
the Tai Chi really poke my curiosity there.
yeah, because what it does, especially if you just do a few of the moves very slowly, what I would typically do is do it in a pitch black environment. So no
Okay.
lights. Yeah. I cut off all sensory, everything that has me looking anywhere else. So when I do it in the pitch, I know the space that I've got, and I do it in the pitch black room so that I'm totally focused only on my breath work and the movements. And I do it very, very slow. And then I find that just make sure that your bed is close by. You don't have to turn on any lights. And
Okay.
then I just climb into bed and I'm off. But if I am not doing that, what I never do is even to this day, I never turn on lights to go to my restroom. I
Okay.
will get up and I go to the restroom in the dark. Yes.
Okay.
And that way, there's no stimulation from lights because, those lights will wake you up immediately. And then if I'm still challenged, sometimes even, well, of course, I use my supplements for,
Yeah.
for my hormonal wellness. But there's sometimes when, you just want something like, for me, it's something quick and healthy. And you're not, because you also know I don't pop pills at all. So what I use is a teaspoon of peanut butter. You get the tryptophan from the peanut butter, and within minutes, I'm out like a light.
Wow.
hmm
Okay.
So doing everything that is natural for the body.
Great. Great. So that's another experience. Thanks for sharing again. Thank you. Anybody else? Well, I would share one of the things I do. What I've learned to do actually during the course of the day when struggles come, when I get challenged. One of the things I do is try to get away a little bit and take at least a little 5 to 10 minutes for myself by myself and, do some deep breathing. And I use that to help minimize the cortisol and my stress response because I find like when I get too upset during the day, somehow it lags and it goes with me to sleep at night, right? And I try many times now, I try not to take things. Yeah, thank you. Yes, the breathing is very good. I try not to take things too personal because at this time, sometimes somebody might be making just a little joke with you and you just blow the cover. You're angry and when you look back and you say, oh gosh, why I behave like that? You know? Um, and yes, some people say when they worry, they get up at night. That is Angela. She said she gets up at night and she worries. So to me, what I use, the breathing, being by myself for a little bit, around a 5 to 10 minutes, and doing some deep breathing and regaining that sense of self. To be honest with you, if I do that during the day, by the time later on in the evening come, I find that I'm not hyped as I usually am, and I can't sleep and I'm studying everything. I do deep breathing and I try to do it at least once or twice during the daytime. And that deep breathing really helps to calm my nerves down, ladies. I don't know if you ever tried it. Yes. And all right, and writing, yes. Writing is good too. Writing down how you feel. And I actually did a lecture at one time dealing with writing your feelings. Sometimes we as women, we tend to keep a lot of things inside. And one of the things I've learned from my better half is that what he tell me, he always tell me, Maria, you keep a lot of things locked in, and that is not good. And I want to tell you, ladies, this, sometimes you're trying to not hurt people's feeling, feelings, or you're afraid when you say something you might make enemies, but it's not what you say, it's actually how you say it, right? And actually keeping things inside is not healthy. And I have learned that that is what added on to my stress. So I've learned to just say actually what I mean, no love lost, no, but say what I mean and get it out of the way. And that's it. Instead of carrying it on, having it with you, and then you're grumbling to yourself and whole day you're grumbling, right? So Christine says about framing the conversation. But sometimes there are people who might just come and say something off key, as we say. You didn't look for that, and you didn't, it wasn't even part of the conversation, and then they just said something to just trigger you. And there are triggers, and I think somebody rubbing you the wrong way can trigger you being upset for the whole day, and then finally during the night now you start to rethink now. I should have really said what I should have had to say at that point in time, than keeping that feeling. And in the night, you feel like you want to explode because you should have answered them that way and you should have really tell them how you feel. When you could have do it one time and calm yourself down, take a deep breaths and get it out and over with. So one of the things, what I'm trying to say, ladies, stop holding feelings inside. And it's not just if somebody gets you upset, you're talking with your husband, you're speaking with a close friend, and, they may say something or something that may have hurt you, and you're just trying to not make them feel upset. Tell them, what you said, it really bothered me, or, it rubbed me the wrong way. And say what you say, actually what you feel, instead of holding that. That is not healthy. So I learned that from my husband. He said, Maria, stop keeping things inside and just talk it out, say it out, tell me what you really want to say. Even if it may be a bit, we may not agree on certain things, say what you have to say. And I've learned that now over the years. It's something I would like to pass on to you all two ladies. Stop holding all this feeling inside. Get it out. Free up yourself. And you will see it would make a lot of difference when it comes into night to sleep. Right now, I sleep really good. Sometimes I go to bed and then I oversleep at times. First, I'm sleeping good now. I getting more than the 7 to 8 hours sleep. Right? So holding things inside can really and truly, to me, affect that 2 to 3 a.m. Sleep pattern. Right, ladies? I don't know if anybody else has anything you would like to add. That would be good.
Hello, good night.
Good night. Good
Good
night.
night
Good
to
night,
everyone.
Christine. Good night.
So what I normally do, I will do something in the house that I supposed to do the other day. Like I will go and start to cook.
In the night?
Yeah, yeah. If I
Okay.
get because I will sleep for 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
right? And after 3 hours, I am up. I am up. And after 3 hours, then I will want to go back to sleep. So I will spend some time if I go on my bike, my stationary bike, and work out, or I do some cooking so that in the day following, I don't have to do that.
Oh.
You know, I do something like that to pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of that chore, I'm ready to sleep again. Yeah. Yeah.
That is a good way. That's a different way of
Mhm.
looking at it as well. So after
Yeah.
you do that for the 3 hours, right? You
Mm-hmm.
go back to sleep. You sleep for how long now?
Right through
Ah,
until in the morning.
okay. And usually what time is the time you get up?
1 a.m.
One.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I go to sleep like 10:30, and at 1:30, I will be up.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And I'm taking away what Christine said about go to the washroom without your lights. Maybe I
Okay.
had to try that too, you know,
You
and
just
that's
be
a good
careful.
thing.
Just be careful when you're walking that you
Well,
don't
you have to know your
tumble.
room, eh? Good.
You have to know your place,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
But that is a good idea to keep.
yeah, it's a good idea.
That is a very good idea actually. But you have to know where you're putting your foot. I wouldn't like to know you're trying something, and next thing you injure yourself.
Mhm.
Christine say have a night light
It's like,
somewhere.
yeah, it's Graceline and Maria. If you have one of those little plug-in lights, you know, which is one of those small lights, it's pale yellow light. It's not bright white light.
Okay.
So it gives a soft glow. If you've got it somewhere close between your bedroom and your restroom, that would, you just ensure that you don't bump your toe and end up having a problem. I totally agree. But if you do that and not put on that bathroom light, which is bright, yeah, then I
Well,
think you can really see some improvement, because once you've got that bathroom light on and that goes on, it's like, okay, I'm up, it's daytime.
mhm.
Well, I do have the light, that small light, I do have it, but
Yes.
I still find it is so bright because everywhere else is dark.
Mm.
So I'm thinking about taking it off.
Well, just be careful. I totally agree with Maria. You want to be sure that you don't bump into anything and create more problems for yourself. I know my space, and so I can see even if it's dark. I can still see, but at least not with the bright lights of the bathroom. At least.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's some good thoughts, ladies.
Yeah, but Miss Maria, I was also thinking about Graceline and what feels like broken sleep. So I think that's where you were going with how many hours you are getting as a
And I
constant
hear
rest.
your line
Can you hear me?
uh
Can you hear me now?
yes, we hear you again.
Yeah, I think what you were considering with Graceline was how many hours of consistent sleep she gets, because I go to bed late, but I ensure that I get at least 7.5 hours uninterrupted
Yeah.
sleep. Because that's key. So if I get to bed at, let's say, 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't take phone calls. I don't do anything before 9 a.m. because I must ensure that I get at least 7.5, 8 hours sleep. Angela will tell you that she's known me to, to do that all the time.
That is so important.
I make
Yes.
sure I don't call Christine before 10, and I still check to see if she's awake before I call.
So that is so
That's what you call a good
important.
friend.
She knows you.
I I wrote in the chat too, when I take my woman's supplement before going to bed, about 10 or 20 minutes before, I find that I sleep through the night. Even if I get up and use the bathroom, as soon as I get back to bed, I'm off like a light again. I am off. I sleep.
And that I
Yeah.
guess that has to do with the magnesium as well that is in it.
Yes, it has magnesium
Yeah.
and all those things in it. Yeah.
So it would affect that in a positive way.
Yeah.
Yes, because it would have the peony, chasteberry, maca, ashwagandha, ginger, B12, B6, black cohosh, maca. So that combination, I have found, like Angela, that formulation, which is botanical in nature, is very gentle, and it gives you a sense of peace, and that helps me as well.
Very good. Very good. So I like how we shared a lot of our experiences, ladies, and that's what we're actually here for. Because what might work for one may work for some and may not work for all. So we had to interchange and see what is the best, which what works best for us as an individual, because we're not all the same, right? Even though many of the simple symptoms we experience are very similar, we are not all our makeup is not the same. So there are different things we can use or different methods of resting that we can use. So I want to thank you all for sharing that info for everybody's benefit. But I will try the one with the that Tai Chi. I like the one the Tai Chi that Christine spoke about.
I will send you a link, Nurse Maria.
I would love that. I think
I will send
that
it
might
to
be a
you.
good topic for us to talk about Tai Chi.
Definitely.
So ladies, so we're continuing this topic next week. The next part, we have a part 2. So I want to continue the next part of this topic and on how we can optimize, what we can do to educate and optimize, use to optimize a good night's rest from here and onward for those of you who still are having a problem sleeping and getting up with just about an hour or 2 hours sleep, you know. So it is a learning process, it's a learning curve, and we're here to enhance each other. I like how Nicole is, you know, taking her health more seriously. A lot of us are doing that as well. And there are a lot of things on its way in terms of our health management, which I have some tips and helps and a lot of things coming up from my side and Dr. Khan's side for you all as well. Right? So next week, for sure, we're going to go to part 2 of this topic, and I want to say, I think you all could, you know, do a little homework for next week. You could probably look up one thing that helps you to sleep better at night, beside what we spoke about during this perimenopause transition. One thing that works for you, and we could share that next week, God's willing. So again, I want to thank you again for coming on to the Healthy Reset, and we're looking forward to the next continuation of this topic. And so I just want to say thanks again for coming on until next week, Tuesday, around the same time, when we will discuss this lovely topic that we're dealing with, how stress affects perimenopause. Okay, Grace said seriously read the Bible. That's another option as well. Very good.